comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. Alright, where are we? What are we doing? Fucking hell. It's Monday, but Jesus Christ, do we need days anymore? Reality is so fucking twisted that living in like the 7-day work week or the 5-day work week plus a weekend just doesn't even seem fucking relevant anymore. I mean, I haven't been living in the 7-day week for quite some time, and if it wasn't for this podcast, I wouldn't know what fucking day it was, what date it was. I would only be able to tell the date by the crisis. What fucking existential crisis are we in? Have the aliens come yet? Alright, it's not July then. I know this though, if I was working, if I was turning up to the job site and fucking jackhammering something, about 10 minutes into it, I'd be like, hold on, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? Fucking jackhammering? What is the purpose of this? What, I'm going to be doing this for the next 30 years so I can like buy a house or some shit? Buy a car, or I don't know what I'm doing. Is there going to be 30 years of stability? That's the gamble you're taking now with your life. You're like, do I think there's going to be 30 years of stability? Because if you do, if you think there's going to be like a stable future for minimum 30 years, because you need stability to go to a job and plan for the future. If it's just fucking chaos, you can't really plan for the future. That's why you sacrifice so much of your life for your job, because the future was guaranteed. There was more or less 70 years of stability, so you could plan for the future. You're like, shit's not going to blow up in the next like 20, 30 years, so I can work this job, I can sell my soul for a house or whatever, and raise a family, live the Australian dream or the American dream or just the fucking dream of any people, really. But if you're looking into the future now, shit is not looking very stable. You got fucking pandemics, you got World War IIIs, you got aliens coming, you got fucking global warming, you got floods in Australia. You've got extreme weather events. You've got fucking the works. So about 10 minutes into jackhammering on a Monday morning, I would be like, hold on a second. What the fuck am I doing here? This doesn't make sense anymore. There's going to be no international travel in like 3 years. I already can't afford a house. Why the fuck am I jackhammering? I would just put the fucking jackhammer down and I'd be like, I'm out. I'm going to figure something else out. I have always been a big advocate of people quitting their jobs. I've promoted it for years now. Just quit and figure it out. This is the perfect time to do it. Get ahead of the game because it's coming. You're going to get fired anyway eventually. I wonder what would happen if people did that en masse. Just turned up to work one Monday and was like, nah, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. And like 50% of the working population just evaporated, just fucking went down to the beach, hung out at the beach, started origami classes, anything. Just with the mindset, like, if it's going to be chaos, then the moments where it's not chaos, I'm only going to do what the fuck I enjoy doing. I reckon if that happened en masse, they would deploy the military and drag you out of your home and fucking force you to jackhammer. We can't have a population of people just chilling. That wasn't part of the plan. You've got to do it now, though, because things are still relatively good. You're in a position where you can leave your job and things are still pretty good, because when they get bad, you actually want a job. You're begging for a job. You're like, please fucking God, give me a job. I'll do anything for 1 hour. Just give me an hour's work. Just give me fucking a crust of bread for an hour's work. But unless you're financially secure now, unless you've got enough money to like live through like 4 or 5 years, you're going to end up in that position anyway. Your money's going to run out. So you might as well get ahead of the game, get a few good years in, get those origami skills up, and then when the shit really hits the fan, because this is all just chill now. This is still chill. Can you believe that? The shit hasn't even hit the fan yet. This is still chill. This is still cruise time. Not for Ukrainians. They're not as chilled at the moment. But for the rest of us, the shit hasn't even hit the fan yet. Anyway, it's Monday and it is time for this week's Ask Boyle. If you have a question you want sent in, a question, a hypothetical, anything, just send it in to send it into my drunk dial on my website, boylecomedy.com. Or the Patreon, the links to the Patreon are on the website, so look there. Or just send me a fucking message. Anyway, this week's Ask Boyle comes from New Zealand, the motherland. So it was sent in by Joseph, and Joseph has asked, Boyle, what is your read on the Russia-Ukraine shit? Well, Joey, you have come to the right place. You are lucky because the fog of war is getting pretty fucking foggy at the moment, but I have spent the last 2 or 3 days watching fucking hours. I've watched like 9 hours of Vladimir Putin interviews. I was up till 3 a.m. last night watching Vladimir Putin interviews because I was like, I need to know what this crazy bastard's up to. So I was looking to find Vladimir Putin saying some fucking crazy shit because they're calling him Hitler and shit. And if you look up Hitler, he's just screaming about the Jews and fucking Germany and fucking all this shit. You can find Hitler saying some real crazy shit. So I'm like, I need to find Putin saying some fucking, we need the Soviet Union back. Fuck the West, those Western dogs. I want to take over Ukraine. I want to crush them. I want to bring them back to Russia. So I'm like, all right, the fucking internet must be full of Vladimir Putin saying that shit. So I just typed in Putin interviews, and after about 6 interviews, I was like, hold on a second. This cunt hasn't said one crazy thing at all. That was like an hour of interviews. Everything he said seemed precise. He gave pretty much rational, logical explanations for any of his actions. I'm like, surely not. Surely not. This guy is a nut job, isn't he? He's a fucking psychopathic dictator, isn't he? Isn't he? Just give me one thing, Putin. Fucking just give me one thing. And I kept searching and I kept watching interviews and I could not find fucking Putin saying anything crazy at all. It was all just about NATO expansion, US provocation, all that sort of shit. And then like after 6 hours of YouTubing Putin interviews, I found a fucking series of interviews he did with the American director, Oliver Stone. You know Oliver Stone, he made the movies Platoon, JFK, Natural Born Killers, Wall Street, Doors, Born on the 4th of July, Scarface, Any Given Sunday, U-Turn. U-Turn's a sick movie. The People vs. Larry Flint, Evita, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. Anyway, Oliver Stone did a 4-part series called The Putin Interviews from 2015 to 2017. They're an hour each, and I watched all 4 hours of them, and still I couldn't fucking find him saying anything crazy. So I'm up to like 9-10 hours of Putin interviews, and I can't find him saying one crazy thing. And Oliver Stone also made a documentary called Ukraine on Fire. Watch that as well. That was in 2016, and that's very fucking interesting too. So I'm like, well, I can't find anything anywhere where Putin sounds crazy. If you can find it, if any of you listeners can find something for me where Putin sounds like an insane dictator, can you please send me the goddamn link because I need to see it. And he gets fucking hammered by interviewers as well. They go after him pretty hard. They ask him like 6 or 7 minute fucking questions with about 14 or 15 different branches to it. He keeps them all in his head, then answers every single one. And you're like, this can't make sense. That was the shockingest thing. He makes fucking sense. So it had to have been like 9 or 10 hours of fucking Putin interviews. Couldn't find a single fucking crazy thing. He barely even stuttered in any of it. And I'm like, fuck, could this be all upside down? Could this be seriously all upside down? Is everything now just fucking disinformation propaganda bullshit? And then I went back to YouTube and I typed in Joe Biden saying some crazy shit. And within 3 seconds, I had found a 3-part series of Joe Biden called The Gaff Machine. In 3 seconds, that was the first thing that popped up. Joe Biden, The Gaff Machine. I watched 10 hours of fucking Putin getting pummeled by the smartest journalists on earth, attacking him and him repelling and overcoming every attack with like pure precision. And then I watched the 3-part series, Joe Biden, The Gaff Machine. And I was like, is everything completely fucking backwards here? Is propaganda so fucking good that they can just reverse the narratives now? Like completely turn it on its head and then just operate as though that is truth. So I don't know about the fucking Ukraine-Russia situation. I feel bad for the fucking Ukrainians. It's always innocent people stuck in the middle that get fucked up because of these politician cunts. So I definitely feel bad for the fucking Ukrainians. They've got no other choice. You got to fucking fight. But the shit about Russia and Putin, that seems to me like, at best, Putin is maybe a psychopath, and he's just never ever shown it to the public in any interviews ever, and he's masking it well. And at worst, every single fucking word the media has ever said about Putin is a fucking lie. But you can make your mind up on that one. If you want to follow a good journalist that seems to know a fucking fair bit about this, John Pilger. He's an old school fucking journalist, just one of those fucking old schoolers, the legit cunts, not one of these new fucking scumbag mouthpieces, the despicable cunts. This guy does not give a fuck. He just tells it like it is. John Pilger. John and Pilger. Pilger. He's a fucking Aussie, but he's been living in London for like the last 40 years or some shit. Anyway, I hope I cleared that up for you. If you're interested, go watch those Oliver Stone interviews with Vladimir Putin. They're on YouTube. The Putin interviews with Oliver Stone. They're very fucking interesting. And Ukraine on Fire. That's very fucking interesting too. Anyway, that'll do for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around, and I'll see you the fuck later.